What's going on, guys? Romer the Roamer here, and I am going to go over what Keepa Graphs are for beginners, exactly what these different numbers mean, and maybe even if you're a more experienced person, you could pick up a couple tips from this. Maybe you don't understand exactly what everything on a Keepa Graph means, but I'm actually making this for my lister. She noticed that a lot of books that we're listing sometimes don't have many spikes. She knows the green spike is supposed to mean sales, which it does, but I'm going to show her how to really look into more detail so we're not sending in books that will never sell. So we're going to look at this in the context of AccelerList. So I'm going to look up my favorite set. It's a Jewish set. I sold it for $2,000, 5.6 million rank. And okay, so this is what you're going to see when you open up a Keepa Graph. This is just a screenshot of it. This isn't actually the Keepa Graph. This is just a screenshot of it. Okay, so we can't really interact too much with this. But it gives us everything we basically need just by looking at that. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the actual Keepa Graph. So click on this Keepa icon down here. And my lister, if you don't have the Keepa extension downloaded yet, go ahead and download that, Monty, in the Chrome store, type in Keepa Chrome extension, and there it is. And then it will automatically pull up the Keepa Graph when you click on Amazon. So right here, it'll automatically pull it up. Well, let's click on this Keepa icon here. So we're actually going to Keepa.com. You're gonna have to have a Keepa account. It's not free. It's $17 a month, I believe. And so let's zoom out a little bit. Let's look at a year. Okay. So what this green line means, this green line is essentially the demand of the book. It's the sales rank. So we see in this y-axis over here, this is a sales rank. So some people have a rule and don't sell any books over $1 million. I think that's bullshit. We sell tons of books over $1 million. We sold this book and it had a 5 million rank. We sold it. So they just proved this bullshit. It's not true that you can sell books 14 million rank. But the important thing is look for proof of sales in the past. So this green line goes up and down depending on the sales rank. So whenever a book sells, let's go right here, trying to pinpoint this. Wow. Okay, so whenever a book sells, this is actually where I sold the book. I sold it in May. So that little drop means it's a sale. So whenever it drops down, there's a sale. So the moment I sold this book, it dropped to 161,000 sales rank, and it only stayed there for like 10 minutes, it looks like. Not very long. Then immediately went back up. For whatever reason, we don't know how sales rank is determined exactly, but we just know the number one book on Amazon is going to be number one bestsellers rank. The number 10 book is going to be 10. So obviously, like the top 100,000 books sell pretty frequently. A Keepa Graph is going to look like this when a book doesn't sell that much. This line is just going to be chilling here. As you can see, it's like is that called an asymptote? It's been a while since school, but this is approaching infinity. You see that? This is just going up and up and up. But if we look back, we see it. It sold in November. This is why I picked the book up. I picked this book up during January. I was at a library sale. We can see it sold here. We can see it sold here. We can see it sold here. If we zoom out all the time, we can see, boom, it sold here. So what we really care about is we care about seeing these spikes. If we see like a long stretch, let's see if I can highlight this. There we go. This is what we're looking for. If over the course of a year, there's no sales like this, zoom out to all time. And if all time looks like this, where there's no sales, this is not all time for this graph. This is just 2017 to 2018. But this is a red flag because it means it's never sold. So sometimes what will happen is, and this is probably the most common scenario when you see this green line just approaching infinity. I'm going to go ahead and get this is a new price, the blue line. and the black line is the used price. So this is the most common scenario. And what we want to do when we see this is we want to zoom out to all time. And we want to see what price was this book really selling at. And most of the time when you see this period of no sales, the price is way too high. So it's not really the case here. This book actually sold a lot more at $3,500, or it sold about the same amount when it was at $1,600. But a lot of times you'll see a book for like $1,000 that's really only worth $25, and you'll see this dead period where there's no spikes. So in this case, what I want you to do, and all my followers watching this on YouTube as well, you want to look at what price was it selling at. So it actually is selling at $3,300. A lot of times I did not explain this part. So the black line is the used price. So whenever this spike happens, we can see what price it was listed for. And so this right here, see this huge jump? Huge. You see this huge jump in price? Like, what the hell's going on here? I'll explain this. I'm going to zoom into this. Okay. So as you can see, there was a sale right at the end of August, there was a sale. And all of a sudden, this price skyrockets. Why did it skyrocket? Because the $1,500 copy of this book, or the set, sold. The next cheapest set was $3,500. So someone purchased a $1,500 set. They brought the market value up to $3,500. This is the next guy in line. So Tim is down here trying to sell it at $1,500. He sold it. Now Joe is in line at $3,500. Okay. So what does that mean for us? It means we really care about this black line right before the spike. So the sales price is right before. So this sold around $1,200, going to $1,500. Now, disclaimer here. This black line only shows the cheapest price at the time. So this is only showing the cheapest price. So this is actually a great example here because I was the one that caused this spike. I was the reason why this spike occurred. And I actually sold this set for $2,000. So that's the power of FBA. The merchant seller, the guy selling it from his house or his warehouse, had it listed for $1,200, but he couldn't offer prime shipping. I could. I listed it for $2,000. So someone paid an extra $800 to get it instantly. And I also probably won the buy box. So when you buy box, go to return product information. This guy's winning the buy box right now. Actually, there's no one winning the buy box. This is one of those weird books that doesn't have a buy box. We'll go to this book. So winning the buy box just basically means Amazon's putting you next in line. So if I click on buy used right now from this person, who am I buying from? I'm buying from a third-party seller. I didn't choose which seller to buy from. He's just on the very front page. So when you win the front page, that's winning the buy box. So Crafty Goods is winning this buy box. There's 72 other people I can purchase from, but since they're winning the buy box, I'm most likely going to buy from them. Amazon gives preference to prime sellers because we're taking up their space at their warehouse. So we get buy box more often. So now that's essentially all you need to know about Keepa. I'll show you what a good demand book looks like real quick, just so you know. Go to, I always use this book as an example. I like to check up on its price because now it's August and it's increasing in price. It's a little sunflower book. 13 sales rank. This is a 13th. Amazon deems this the 13th book for bestsellers rank, which means it's super, super high demand. It's crazy. Out of millions and millions of books. So it's textbook season. That's why this bestseller rank is so low. So let's look at a couple things here. I'll go ahead and take this fluff out of the way. When you guys are using Keepa, I'm talking to my listers here, all you care about is the used and the sales rank. That's all you care about. So you can see this green line. The sales rank y-axis stays very, very low. It stays under 8,000. Like that's the peak. So anywhere this green line is, it's selling a lot. So you can see it almost doesn't even have spikes like I was talking about earlier. Spikes, you only really see the spikes on really low demand books because the sales are distinguished from the dead period. But with books like this, you can see it just hangs out at sub 100 during textbook season, during January, and during August. It just comes down. Now you can see the price, this black line, increases. See, this black line increases during the demand most of the time. Here's everyone's going crazy, freaking out, repricing. You'll see this a lot at textbook season. People will reprice like crazy, and they bring down the market value. So you could have purchased the book here for $65 and sent it back in this year for August. You could have flipped it for $150 if you're in online arbitrage. So this just shows the fluctuation of this book. This is if you guys are in an OA, track this book. Here's a little golden nugget. You can actually track products right here. When the used price goes below 70, I want to be notified. And I'll purchase the book and I'll send it in for $150. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit into, and Monty, you don't have to worry about this stuff if you're still watching. Monty's my lister. Joanna might be watching this too. I'm going to get in a little bit more advanced stuff now. So this, you can click on more historical data right here, and it'll show you the used offers. And this is important because if you see this used offers increasing like crazy in a textbook, you know the price is going to drop much harder the following textbook season. I'll show you a good example of this. Fluid mechanics. DSM-5 is also a good example. Can't remember which one it is. It's not the newest one. Oh, did not mean to do that. What's it going to do? Let me get this out of the way. Let's do the DSM. Actually, have that book right here. I have a fake version of that book. Okay. This is a great example. So check this out. This is one of the books I ever did online arbitrage with. Purchased like 30 copies of it, maxed out my credit cards. Great decision. Because you'll see what happened. I got really lucky, but I also was paying attention. Okay, so this is when it happened. So this orange line's Amazon. Purplish line is new. We don't really care about those for the most part. There are times when we do care about it for pricing. But as you can see, summer 18, I was living in my car. If you guys have not seen this video of me living in my car, go to my YouTube channel and sort my videos by most viewed. It's my most viewed video. It's me living in my car in the desert. And at the time, I was doing online arbitrage. And I was sending all the books to my cousin's house, and he was packing them up for me. So I ended up losing money the first time I did this, but purchasing this book was just a wonderful decision. And I think there's more to the story now that I know about this book, but I'll show you what was really going on. So it was around June when I purchased a bunch of copies for $25. And for some reason, it was 2 listings, and one listing was a lot cheaper than the other. So I was actually flipping from listing to listing. This was probably the cheaper listing at the time. So I was buying around right here. And the reason why I knew, or I had a gut feeling that it was about to spike, is if you look here, look at the used offers. So it goes from like 160, 120. It's hanging out pretty high numbers. And all of a sudden, boom, it drops halfway down to 70. What's going on here? It's not even textbook season yet. And then textbook season's right around the corner. So right when August, September hits, boom, doubles in price. And I actually sold this book for like $90. And that's what it's going for now. So I picked up 30 copies and flipped them, made some pretty good profit on it, especially with that prime bump. So again, remember, this price right here is only the low used price. With prime, I was selling it like $90. So I was buying 30, flipping 90. But the reason why I knew this is the used offer count goes down. And why I say there's more to this story, I think the reason why this used offer count's going down is because people are getting gated. People are restricted in this book. I'm not. So if you guys have restricted books and you want to sell them, send them to me. I'll sell them on my account and we'll do a 50-50 split. But pay attention to the used offers. That's a big indicator. A lot of times you'll see the reverse happen where it'll actually climb up over time, the used offer count, and the price will just tank. So if it's right before textbook season and you see a mountain of used offers, beware. Be on the lookout. Let's see what else we can get into. You can look at Amazon's data just to see what they're pricing it at. It gives you a good idea of if you have a new book, what you can sell it for, because you can see what Amazon's selling it for. There's also used buy box. And I have one of my Sauceras calling me. She's going to have to wait because we're talking about Keepa Graphs right now. And this is way more important. So we see the buy box here. We don't know how accurate this is really. I've talked to a couple people, but this pink shit, you can see it's like paintball happened here. It's going all over the place. That's the new buy box. Oh, it tells you who won the buy box too. Yeah, we don't know how accurate this is, but it's probably right. But this is only for new. Okay? So it'll tell you third-party seller, Amazon. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. This is also cool. The trade-in value. So let's get this Amazon out of the way. My computer is about to overheat because I'm doing so many things at once on it. It's freaking out right now, so it's going slow. But watch this. This is super cool. That's not cool. What the hell's going on? Okay. So this trade-in value. Get Amazon out of the way. All right, I'll just work with what I got. So this red line right here is a trade-in value. Now that's super jumbled, but you can see the trade-in value fluctuates as well. And this is not a good example. Keepa just must not have that much data on it, but the trade-in value fluctuates with the used market value. It's almost like directly correlated with it. Let's see here. Not in this case. Other textbooks, though, you'll see like during textbook season, the trade-in value goes up. And so if you're going to trade in your books, if you're a trade-in hustler, and this goes for all buyback websites. If you go to bookscouter.com, you can trade in your books. Wait till textbook season to send them in because they spike. I know this is a bad example because this isn't textbook season right here. This is like off season, but we don't have that much data on this. I guarantee you that this red line, if they had all the data, it spikes. That might be. Let's see. It spikes during textbook season. So let's just look. Okay, May. That's a textbook month, so it spikes there at the beginning of the summer semester, and then it goes down. Didn't spike really during. we see a little bit of something here. But a lot of times with the books, it goes directly with the used market value. But I think that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed that content. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe. If you didn't like it, think it's bullshit, let me know. Comment. And dislike this video. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm making this video for my lister, and I figured I might as well share some of my Keepa insight with you guys. And if you have future requests, maybe I didn't really get into something that you wish I would have about Keepa, let me know. Peace out, family.